Are you working on your YouTube channel, maybe adding some videos to it, and wondering what kind of thumbnail you want to add to it? Well, I'm going to walk you through some examples in this video and show you classy ways to design your YouTube thumbnails. So our first example is from Neil Patel. And Neil Patel is a pretty popular online marketer, and he studies a lot of the search engine optimization and has many courses and a lot of material on optimizing online. And he has a very cohesive look to his channel. So here we're looking at two thumbnails he has. And what he tends to do is make similar thumbnails for like a series of videos that he does. And it ends up making his channel, this is a screenshot of his channel, looking cohesive because of the color selection. So one of the first things with creating classy YouTube thumbnails is to go with something cohesive with your color scheme. Now you don't have to make the entire channel all the same colors, but it looks quite nice if you have one color that ties things together, or to create a batch that are using the similar colors that are, say, a playlist or a certain grouping or a series, have all of those video thumbnails be cohesive using the same colors and the same fonts, such as what Neil does here. This next example comes from Yoga with Adrienne. I think I'm saying that right. I'm sorry, Adrienne, if I'm not. And her thumbnails show you a very simple and elegant example of how to use fonts of different sizes and weights and have a look that's cohesive that carries through her different videos. She'll have several videos that will have the same kind of theme or look to the thumbnails depending on the group that she's doing them. And here we're looking at her channel, and she did a series for 30 days. And so each one of the videos in that 30-day series has a matching thumbnail. So they all look like a unit whenever you do pull up her channel, or if you see them in the side in YouTube as you're scrolling through YouTube and looking at other videos. So that way of thinking about how to repeat a look across multiple videos in a series really adds to the class of your channel because it looks like it's thought through and it's complete. Now our next example is coming from a channel called Cut. And what I like about this one is they're using all sorts of different types of people and media and all sorts of flavors in every one of their videos. But they have a great way of choosing very compelling, authentic, and colorful images, and that kind of makes up the look of their brand. So here's their YouTube channel, and you can see that all of their thumbnails are different, but what I want to point out is this fits their channel and what they're going for because they're a media channel. And because of that, even though they're all different, there's still sort of a common thread of bright colors. There's sort of kind of a fruit color almost. There's like some lime in there, and there's some kind of strawberry and mango looking color. And so that color that you see playing through there ties it together, as well as the fonts that they're using. They seem to be pretty consistent in the fonts that they use. The next example here comes from a channel called Exo McKenna, and these are her. She has a bunch of different videos on many different topics, and they have different images that she uses in the thumbnail, but she has a very consistent look with the way she handles her typefaces and like the type decoration. So you notice the colored box behind the type. That's really helpful, first of all, just to be able to read it, but it also makes everything look cohesive. And so when you look at her channel here, you can see even though every one of her thumbnails is different, they still are tied together with that style of the typography, with the most of them having the colored box behind the text and often being black with white text on top of it. So that, now she plays around with it a little bit, but it's enough that it matches and looks like a group. These examples come from Red Bull. Now Red Bull, if you know the brand, they tend to have a lot of high energy imagery. They sponsor a lot of sports events, and they're an energy drink. And so their images here, now while their images are very different, they're very fitting for the brand. And so in this case of Red Bull, these are always going to be sports related, whether it's mountain biking or surfing or rock climbing, and the colors are kind of the brightened up outdoor look. And so their channel ends up looking very high energy, outdoorsy, a little bit raw, and bright colored, like alive. And because of that, they look on brand when you look at the channel. Even though there's lots of different types of styles of their thumbnails, they still, if you'll notice, they have a similar font that they're using on almost each one of the thumbnails. And the color scheme is also dialed in. If you're noticing the yellow here, and like the yellow the orange, a little bit of teal, a little bit of pink, kind of fluorescent pink, red, orange. Those colors you'll see a lot in Red Bull. As you'll notice, their logo is sort of it's kind of sort of a reddish color with a yellow, and so that goes through with their colors. So again, we're seeing the tie of the color playing throughout and the typeface and sort of the styling of that type that makes this all look cohesive, and the type of imagery. So if you saw an image here, say they used a photo of a woman doing meditation or yoga, it probably wouldn't fit because it's a different kind of style, right? So it's tied together by the styling and the type of imagery. This next example comes from Shopify, and this specifically is from the Shopify Help Center channel. And so because it's a corporate help center, there's a certain look and feel to their thumbnails, and they need to be very clean, very easy to read, very recognizable. And you'll see that on their channel. So on the front of their channel, looks like this. It's very easy to see the different playlists, the different groupings of their videos. Very easy to read, and this is perfect for more of a corporate help center channel. This is very appropriate. So one of the ways you can be extra classy in building your YouTube channel is to be very appropriate to whatever your material is, obviously. So if you're more corporate, or if you're a health channel, like in Shopify's case, or if you're an entertainment channel or a media channel targeting younger people, you want it to be on brand and looking like your audience and what your audience is used to seeing. The next example was another corporate example that comes from Hootsuite. I really love Hootsuite's marketing, and a lot of their assets are always tied together. They're very clean. They are quite colorful usually, but their colors are solid and they're complementary. So the colors always match quite well in anything I've seen Hootsuite put out. They're very well thought through, and they're often bold, so you can easily read the text on anything they have. So these show examples of using a lot of color, but yet using the same kinds of color and presenting the titles and the thumbnails in a way that looks very clean, very tied together. Obviously, these are all a unit, so you'll just notice how that looks on the Hootsuite channel. And this is great if you're a corporate entity to think about really dialing in. I notice more corporate channels have a much more dialed in cohesive look to all of their thumbnails, it seems like, where the entertainment channels or the personal channels and the media channels, those tend to be a lot more diverse, either because they've got a lot more types of content with lots of different types of people participating, like in Red Bull, for instance, or The Cut, or with a personal brand, you're maybe talking about different types of aspects of your lifestyle. So there's so many different topics that you're covering a lot of ground, where with corporate, it may be more of a consistent subject matter, consistent audience, and so therefore having that consistency builds a lot of trust and cleanliness in the branding. This next example comes from one of my favorite groups, The Future. This is a channel that I love. It's for design professionals. I've learned so much and give much credit to The Future for what they've done for professionals. I've been a part of their pro members group for a while and just really love them. And these are two of their thumbnails. Their whole channel is full of many colorful thumbnails, and their thumbnails are different, but again, the type of styling on the images and the colors they use and the fonts, the typefaces, tie their channel together. So this is their channel, and you can see under like building a brand, and that particular series has all a very matching look to it. So each one of their playlists and their groups of videos have that consistent look where the typeface is handled the same. The border, they're using a border in there. So notice how they're using different images for each one of those thumbnails, but with a border and then the same treatment of type, they still look matching. So if you're in a situation where you have lots of different kinds of backgrounds, if you want to use lots of different images, this is a great solution because you can add like a border that will lay on top of all your images and treat your typeface in the same way for every one of your thumbnails, and they'll all be matching, even if all the images are different. So that's a really great way to tie things together without having to have matching photos for everything. And so I'll wrap up this video with the 3 things to keep in mind for your YouTube channel thumbnails if you want to build clean, classy, and elegant branding. And that would be your colors, and to think about your main color choices. If you're just going to stick with one, like a monochrome look, that could be very elegant. You could go duotone or monotone, whatever you would like to do. If you just want to stick with one color, monotone, that could be very elegant. That could really tie things together in an interesting way, especially if you have like monotone images and then say a different color for your type, for instance, or white type on top of it. Or if you want to pick a series of colors, but keeping your colors at the same family, and kind of the same intensity or whatever you're choosing. Your colors and colors matching your brand probably. And then consistency. Whether it's consistency across all of your thumbnails on your channel or consistency across your particular playlist or a series of videos, the consistency is what really builds the branding. And then the third would be class. And class comes from having matching colors, groupings of colors, and consistency, and thinking through how the whole channel is going to look as a unit. That shows class. Thank you for watching this video. I love hearing your comments. If you like this video, I'd love a thumbs up. And let me know, what do you think? What are some of your favorite YouTube channel thumbnails?